Greetings, dear friends. We are happy to welcome you at the international discussion dedicated to the International Forum Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live. This event was initiated and implemented on a volunteer basis by people's effort and resources. Thanks to the independent unification of millions of people from 100 countries on the Creative Society platform. It was broadcast around the world on tens of thousands of channels on social media platforms and simultaneously interpreted to 100 languages. On this forum, people from all over the world voices the truth about all the pressing issues of the present day, all the problems that we face as a humankind today, and which is most important, they voiced a solution for all of us, how we can change the world.
Yes, indeed. And, thanks to the forum, thousands of people have joined the Creative Society Project and participate in international discussions such as this one today. And right now, I would like to introduce our guests. With us today is Aranga Viraj, who is an aircraft technician and a farmer from Sri Lanka. And then also with us is Dr. Fahim Akhtar, who has a PhD in public administration, professor of management sciences, researchers from Pakistan. Hello and welcome. We're so happy to have you with us here today. And I would like to go right into the questions. And Dr. Fahim, we have a question for you. Could you please share your understandings after watching the forum and what information in the forum touched you the most?
So I was just saying that, first of all, obviously, I thank all of you for giving me this opportunity to express my views. And we, the human being, are primarily responsible to maintain the peace, tranquility, and justice on this globe. We are the prime responsible. And of course, the Creative Society is doing absolutely good job for creating awareness among the nations and among the people to live like a good citizen and like a good human being. So I must appreciate the efforts of Creative Society for holding such seminars and such discussions, which give us a sense of responsibility and sense of good humanity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akhtar. And I also would like to ask the question, Aranga, could you please share your feedback about the conference and why do you think it's so important to share information about this important event?
Actually, very happy to join with Creative Society. I think we can unite it with all people in the world, and we can build together our world. And globalization is very good for this global crisis. We get many solutions from the people for the global crisis. That's the thing. Very happy to join with Creative Society.
Thank you very much. And Dr. Fahim, during the forum, we discussed a lot about the fact that climate is changing, that climate change is happening due to the 12,000-year cycle, and that we see already today climatic disasters all over the world. Now, we know that you're in Pakistan. Maybe you can share with us, do you see changes in the climate disasters happening in your country and around your countries, and how concerned are the people of your country today?
Like the other part of the world and the globe, Pakistan is also concerned about the climate change. As you know, last couple of years, starting from 2018 and 2019, Pakistan government started planting 1 million trees all over the country. And this will obviously take some time to grow the trees, but in coming 2 to 5 years, that will obviously help in fighting the extreme weather and climate conditions, at least in Pakistan. So Pakistan is also facing the problem of hot weather, the ultraviolet rays coming from the sun, from the atmosphere. We are also facing the shortfall of rainfall. We are also facing the rainwater, and we are also facing the crisis of water management. These all are facing climate changes. So the nation and the state, the government, are trying hard to counter this manic of climate change.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. That's absolutely true that climate change is, you can see it in every part of our planet. And today with us, we have Iranga, who is from Sri Lanka. And there are so many alarming news coming every day from that region. And since we have this opportunity, we can ask Iranga how the situation in your country right now, what is the regular people doing?
Actually, this time is very bad because the economic crisis. We don't have the fuel also. Sometime come in fuel, sometime not. We don't have fuel. Like that happen in Kamin, we all shut down our transportations. Some days working, some days not working, like that, because the economic crisis. That's the main problem in now Sri Lanka.
How are the people dealing with it?
Actually, people now going to grow in for the eating purpose. They need to, first thing is our foods. We need to live in for the foods. People now ready to farm in every foods and others land in. People are very interested the farming also, because we have future food. If we don't have foods, we can't live in, no. That's why people are now ready for the farming.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy that we live in the 21st century and we still cannot provide the basic needs for the people all over the world. And this is why the Creative Society Project is so important, is because in the Creative Society, every single person will be provided with everything that every person needs to sustain a beautiful, peaceful, thriving life. And that is why we're here with you today, every day, daily, giving you during these discussions, talking about the Creative Society and its importance. Thank you so much for sharing. And Dr. Fahim, back to you. I have this question. Could you please, I know earlier you mentioned informational war. Could you please tell us about what is informational war and how does this affect our society today?
Very interesting question. And very interesting topic for me as well. After Second World War, the entire world has never been out of the war for a single day. You calculate the day of Second World War, you see some part of the earth was remained in war, in physical or conventional warfare, and later on it is transformed into psychological warfare or information warfare. You see, it was quite disastrous back in the days when a country used to attack the other country using its lethal weapons, using its all kind of arsenals like tanks and artillery and guns, and destroying not only the population but the heavy damages to the buildings and to the infrastructure of that country. Now we are facing all over the world. We are facing another kind of warfare, that is information warfare. Through this information warfare, what happens? Basically, a country controls the economy of the other country through their own people, by controlling their minds, by controlling their thoughts, by controlling their acts. You see, the propaganda warfare has been using part of any warfare earlier as well, but nowadays it is quite often and it is being used extensively. Before getting into a physical or conventional warfare, the countries, what they do, they float their ideas, they inculcate their ideas against that country's people, not directly to the armed forces or the defenders of the country. Rather, they start using their minds, using their children, using their youths, by inculcating their ideas onto them. You see, there are so many games, video games, which create negative people inside a man, inside the youth people. So through these games, sort of things, they inculcate their own ideas, and then the targeted country, their nation, stand against the country and against the state. This is the kind of information warfare which currently many countries are using against their enemies. And as I said, through this, they not only control the armed forces or defenders of that country, but they control the mind of the people living in that country.
Yes, when you were talking, I was thinking that information plays very important role, not only in the creation of the worldview of every single person, but also in creating of our society. And as you also noticed that every war starts with informational war. And unfortunately, we already developed such a good tools of manipulation, how we can manipulate the opinion of irregular people, how we can manipulate of opinion of entire country. And we're using that tool in order to basically pit people against each other, to make them fight, to feel their enemy to each other. But in the real life, we need to realize that we are not enemy to each other, and we really need to cooperate and work together in order to find a solution to our common problem that we are facing right now as the entire humanity. And right now, I would like to invite you to watch a video about the biggest and scariest manipulations of our society. Let's watch it.
My name is Douglas Vogt, a research geologist researching the causes of the Ice Age reversal. And we're doing this conference for Creative Societies Forum, and I hope you enjoy it. And you're going to learn a lot of what's really causing the climate change. What has the most influence on our climate? Now, that little green thing there, that spot there, that's our Earth. That's in size of proportion to the sun. And do you think the ants on that speck of dust has an influence on global warming. No, it's the sun. This is an IQ test. If you're too stupid to understand this, instead, you're thoroughly brainwashed by governments to think global warming is caused by your car, your hibachi, you breathing too much, and cow farts. You're too stupid for this discussion at all. You're going to become like the dinosaurs, extinct, and you should be. You're too stupid to survive. What you're looking at is two ice cores. The one on the left-hand side, see that black band in there? That's about 12,000 years ago. The one on the right also is 12,000 years ago. And depending on where they took the ice cores, one is in Antarctica, the other one I think may be Greenland. But you get an idea of this is worldwide, and the ice cores tell the story right off the bat. Now, in the ice cores, they say, well, there's a higher concentration of CO2. Another source of CO2 in the sedimentary layers would be also more volcanoes going off. It gives off a whole bunch of chemicals, including CO2. Now, I'm going to explain why you're going to have an increase in volcanoes. So the volcanoes go off, but you're able to date material that a lahar or lava went over and then burned a log or whatever, and they find it in the sediment below. This is dating organic material that was found under lahars or lava. And again, they all group around 12,000, 24, 36,000. There's one more, 48,000 and 60,000. They're harder to find evidence like this because why bother? I mean, the scientist has so much time. Is he going to go plow through a bunch of lava flows to try to find a log that's got part burned and try to do a carbon-14 dating? Remember that I told you about a piece or a phenomena? You have to know to do the carbon-14 dating of something like this. And it costs money to have it done. Now, on the right-hand side, I'm trying to show the model of what's going on in the center of the Earth, rather. The center modulation point. As you get closer to the reversal, you have a collapsing magnetic field, which is what's happening now. It's exponentially collapsing. So it heats up, and the heat percolates through the lower mantle, the upper mantle, and then finally, what happens, you'll wind up with, these cavities with magma in it start getting bigger and hotter, and you're going to have more and more volcanoes going off, which is the case now. There's over 25 or 30 volcanoes going off now. The worst will be about a year to 2 years after sunspot maximum. We're going to have a lot of these things going off. And there'll also be an increase in earthquakes. Like I said, this is going to be a lot of earthquakes because between the upper mantle and the crust, it's going to be more fluid and liquid. So you can have the moon on one side, the sun on another, maybe enough to release some pressure someplace and let these plates start moving more. You're going to have a lot more earthquakes. So on the right-hand side shows you the traditional model of a bar magnet in the center of our Earth. Yeah, right, sure. And but this is really what's going on right now. Now, you're going to have more hurricanes and more tornadoes, and it's all due to the output from the sun. And this is why. Sun's output increases. It's going to increase more evaporation of the oceans. Oceans heat up. You'll have more hurricanes and also storms and tornadoes. More evaporation of ocean water, more rain, and storms. It has nothing to do with mankind. If there was nobody on the planet, this still would be going on. We're seeing this thing happen on other planets in our solar system. There's nobody there. They're not driving any cars. So, I mean, I'm telling you, you have to fish through the disinformation that's created. Government wants money by taxing you because you're hurting mommy Earth. Fortunately, daddy's son is going to get rid of them real fast. But by then, it's going to be too late for them, too. The bureaucrats have done something incredibly stupid that hurts themselves more than, as well as the rest of us. And I don't know what to say. It's like I woke up in the insane asylum and the patients have taken over. And taken over academia, too. Like I said, they've institutionalized stupidity for the one purpose of gaining money. from government usually and tuition. What else do I say? I mean, this is the end of days, literally. And I'm basically trying to help people so they save their lives, so somebody can save their lives. I mean, I'm one voice. Dihole Foundation is a nonprofit science foundation. We're doing the best we can, but it's a lot of headwinds, a lot of stupid people, and people who don't want this thing to be known. And people say I'm brave in doing this. I don't see any bravery in it. Why to be brave to tell the truth or what you've discovered? What's the point? If you see something that's wrong or evil, you should say it. Tell people.
To overcome the global crisis, the climatic disasters that are about to come. And we would say that is, I know Marina mentioned earlier that the CO2 scam is one of the scariest, and it's absolutely true, because today, while all the attention is focused on fighting CO2, the real causes of climate change are not being studied. And climate doesn't care about money. It doesn't care about anything. It will swipe everyone on its path. And that is why it's so important for us to spread the truth and to unite together. And then also, let's get back to our guests and our questions. Arenga, what, in your opinion, can be done today to prevent all the problems that are going on in the world, and how can we move faster towards peace and prosperity?
Actually, first thing I want to say, I have to say a very important thing to world. Let's we forget all religion, country, race, cultural, all things forget, and why we are here in earth, why we live in earth, why the human living on earth, and what we can do compare with others animals. We are a special team on earth. We are special to do big creative. Then why we are here? That's the need to find before die. However, now most of the people think we are living on earth for self-working, like learning, earning, enjoying, making power, fight with each other. They not think we are living on live planet. They will be selfish. People are going to be selfish. Now human want to understand earth, every live need to go together. Otherwise, we all can go in as soon as possible. We want to peace because we want to keep our planet. Otherwise, we can't make a peace. We want to fight, protect our planet. This is a live planet. Human have big responsibility. Balance every activity in earth, because universal power also hoping, confirming and extension from humans, this world. I think that's need to know the human, what's the real meaning of the humans.
Thank you so much. It's definitely very important to understand your purpose. It is very important to be able to fulfill your inner potential. It's very important to have a happy life and have time to your hobby, to your family, to everything that you really like to do, and not constantly struggling on thinking how I will support, how I will bring the bread to the table to feed my kids, to help my parents, to, I don't know, maybe like there are so many people right now that live in a place where we have wars. Like we have right now 30 countries that have active war zones. And that's so many. And we have so many people that are dying from hunger and suffering from inhumane condition in which they live right now. And you are absolutely right that we really need to forget all our differences and unite around the idea to build a future, to build the real world in which every single person can have a worthy life. And that model of a society already exists, and millions of people already working on spreading the information about the possibility for all of us, about the benefits of creative society for every single person on earth. And it's very important that we will not be silent and keep spreading that information. And right now, I would like to invite you to watch the video about the creative society.
The Creative Society. A society where human life is the highest value, where people respect each other. A safe world without wars or cataclysms. A society where people are confident about the future. Affordable food and housing for all. Work is for 4 days a week, 4 hours a day. Free education and health care. Economic stability. A world without inflation and crisis. Available technology. Solution of environmental problems. Would you like to live in such a society? It's not a utopia. It can be our future. A future that we can build together.
Yes, that was a beautiful video. And maybe, Dr. Fahim, can you tell us what stands between us and the creative society? We can see that we already have everything. We have the technologies, we have the resources in order to build the creative society, but unfortunately, we still live in this crisis and fear and not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. So what stands between us, the people, and the creative society today?
This is another very important school of thought to our teaching. In fact, we lack all over the world, we lack the connectivity. The world is not deprived of facilities, the technology, and infrastructure. As you mentioned, we have ample of resources in terms of finance, in terms of everything. But unfortunately, these resources are not utilized in correct directions, and the flow of resources are not towards the poor and towards the needy nation and the countries. So the creative society, I must appreciate, is doing absolutely good job for creating awareness among the people and to connect the people from all over the world. And this is obviously needed for us as a human being. We should understand the feelings of the nation and the countries which those are deprived of those things which we are enjoying. For example, there is ample of technology in some countries, but on the other hand, there are countries which are not having those advanced technologies. So those countries and those nations must give their technology, must share their technology for the development and for the uprising of those poor nations. For example, there are countries where people are deprived of clean drinking water, whereas we have technology where you can purify the saltish water of the see. But unfortunately, this is not being done for those which are deprived of those resources. So creative society is obviously creating awareness among the people. It is absolutely good job.
Thank you very much. And Renga, maybe I know we're coming close to the finish. Maybe you can say a few encouraging words to our viewers right now.
I want to say about the mountain. Actually, we want to keep the mountain because mountain can absorb the rainwater. They are inside but invisible. But their bottom spring can come in, and canals, rivers going until the sea. Mountain do the big things to world, because actually live mountain like our heart, they pump water outside, and like our neurosystems going canal, rivers, like they can soil is fertilized with wet and refresh our seawater. Nowadays destroy some mountains and deforestation, cutting soil and build on there, because our natural water resources are going very water resources are going very real to find clear water, because we need to protect our mountain also. This is a live planet because we keep our health on earth.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for sharing. Indeed, we need to worry about not only the climate crisis, but the environmental crisis as well. Because as you said, we do live on a live planet, and we do need to make sure that we have a great ecosystem here in order for us to keep our health, in order for us to have great food and everything that we need that will provide to the health of every human being. But today, unfortunately, we see that we're slaves to this consumerist format of society. But we are people, and we are strong when we are united all together. And this is our time to speak up and to change everything. And the forum, Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, demonstrated that worldwide unification is already happening and offered the solution to peacefully deal with all the crises humanity faces today that can be solved only by building the creative society worldwide. And dear friends, let's share the information about the creative society with everyone, because we deserve to live in peace and a thriving world. And right now, as we draw to a close, I would like to thank our guests for joining us today. I would also like to remind our viewers that the Creative Society platform is created for the unification of all people. And be part of it. It's really easy. Just visit creativesociety.com and click the Join Us button. It's a red button. You will see it on the top of the page. And also, if you have watched the International Forum Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, and would like to participate in an international discussion such as this one, please email us at info@creativesociety.com. We would love to hear from you. And if you haven't watched the forum, then watch it, because the information there is vital for every single person living today. And also it provides the solutions, those solutions that every person is looking for, because that is the only way. By building the creative society, it's the only way for us to overcome all the crises that the world is facing today. And I'm sure that regardless of the country that you live in, you are faced with all the crises. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you again so much to our guests for joining us today, and until next time.
Thank you.